Good morning, and welcome to a special edition of Coffee with Tea. I didn't intend to do a coffee with tea this morning. I intended to kind of get my day going and, moving along. And I woke up this morning to a message on my um, a, a DM in my Instagram, and it caused me to do this particular coffee with tea. It was from a young woman that I met at a conference earlier, well, in the fall. And she reached out because she's struggling. And she asked me, "Dear Amazing T Street, do you ever just feel hopeless? Your message is so positive, but sometimes I don't feel positive. I feel hopeless and like there's no point to this thing called life. If you've ever felt like that, what did you do? Would love to hear your answer." So I decided this morning that I would do an honest coffee with tea so that the young people who listen to me on Instagram understand that not every day is amazing, but every day I am the amazing T Street, regardless of whether I'm on top of the mountain or the days that I'm in the valley. This morning, I chose this particular coffee mug. It has my name on one side, it says tea, but it reminds me, I love this mug. It was given to me by one of my stands, Dr. Q. It just reminds me to keep my head up. When I see that woman on the mug, it reminds me to keep my head up even on the hard days. And so, hopefully, scrolling along the bottom, you'll see the number 988, and I will explain it later. But if you've ever felt hopeless, like there was no point to this thing called life, and you ever thought about checking out, I hope that you will opt to call 988, which is the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, not hotline, lifeline. I hope that you will make the decision. It's available 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's staffed 988. And so I will say to you, yes, for most of my adolescence, I battled mental illness. When I was going through the period that I describe in my book of juvenile delinquency, I was battling mental illness. And so, yes, I've been there, young people. I have been to the place where this thing called life felt hopeless. And yes, I've been in the place both as a juvenile and as an adult where I felt like there was no point to this thing called life. And yes, I had the thought that maybe I shouldn't be here. But can I just tell you, I'm so glad that it was a fleeting thought and that I got the help that I needed so that I could be here today, walking out the purpose for which I was born. Today, it's popular for people to use memes to capture people's whole lives. We want to acknowledge that mental health is important, and so we use clever memes like it's okay to not be okay. And that is a true statement. But I want to caution us that it's not the end of the statement. The end of the statement is it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay not okay. Please, whatever you do, don't stay not okay. Help is available to you. I found help in God, but I also found help in therapy. And so I wanted to give this message to the young woman who wanted to know if I ever felt like that. Yes, I have, and I did. But I want you to know that on days like this, reach out for help because it's available to and for you. The world is a much better place with you in it. I often think, what would I have missed if someone hadn't recommended therapy to me, both as a juvenile and as an adult? If someone had offered God to me, what would life be like? Well, if I had ended it all years ago, I would have missed being a mom. I would have missed being an aunt and a sister. I would have missed being the amazing T Street and having the opportunity to go into the world and tell young people that they matter. I would have missed it all. So, for the young person who reached out to me, and I will put this message on Instagram today. Yep, I've been there, done that, and I have some shirts and I have some more wounds, and I'm not always on top of the world. But I can tell you that even on my worst days, I'm glad to be on this side of the dirt. The world is a much better place with me in it, and it's a much better place with you in it. So just know that if you're struggling and you're battling to stay here, and you're battling depression, and you're battling being on the bottom and not feeling good and not feeling like this life has a meaning, please call 988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. 988 is scrolling along the bottom. Can I tell you something? I'm so glad that I'm still here. I'm so glad to have the opportunity to travel this great country and tell young people that they matter. And I can tell you, kids don't care that I'm Black and some of them are not. They don't care that I'm short and that I'm voluptuous. They care that when they look into my eyes, they see my heart of love for them. And I'm so grateful that I endured some hard times to be here so that I could tell not just young people, but anyone who's battling depression, who's battling mental illness, who's battling to have greater mental health, that the world is a much better place with you in it. And as I said, I didn't intend to do a coffee with tea today, but when I got that message on Instagram this morning, I had to respond. I'm the amazing T Street, but I can assure you there's absolutely, positively nothing amazing in me that's not in every single person who's listening to Coffee with Tea. I charge and I challenge you today and every day to walk out your own amazing. Have an amazing day. And if you need the resource, call 988 because help is available to you. Have an amazing day.